Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our Amazing Race Season 32, Episode 4 review. Originally, we were supposed to have like a 2-hour smorgasbord of race to just sink our teeth into.
But elections.
Yeah, we only got the one, but that's okay. You know, you don't want to eat too much at once, because then you feel sick. Then you just think to yourself, I could have had some leftovers later.
I like that they're not back to back. I want it to last. We've all waited 2 years for this, so it's got to last.
There was some fun stuff in this episode.
Yeah, there was.
I understand it's a non-elimination, and sometimes those can be kind of a little wah-wah, but watermelons! People getting lost seemingly in the middle of nowhere. I think there was some fun stuff. I love the throwback to Season 20 in here as well.
Oh, yeah, that bottle dancing, I was like, oh, whoa, okay, I don't know.
We're gonna have some really good additions in this video of what would we have chosen if we were on the Amazing Race together.
Oh, dear.
Alright, well, this will be a fun discussion, but if you want to see more fun discussions, why not just subscribe to the channel?
Yeah, make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss any of our Amazing Race coverage. Also, tomorrow night is like a special bachelorette coming up because it was supposed to be yesterday, but elections! So they've moved it to Thursday, and we will be here tomorrow covering that as well.
Yeah, that's really the story of the week this week, guys. But, this episode, it takes you far away from the United States. It throws you right into Paraguay, where apparently such activities as watermelon stacking and making instruments out of garbage happen all the time.
But first, let's talk about that alliance, because it was really sort of interesting, because now we have Leo and Alana, who are kind of like, we don't know what's going on here, but we know we're on the outside of whatever's going on with Will and James. They got it out for us, and we still are able to U-turn somebody, so
Amazing Race. We need to have a talk here. It has been a week that I have been trying to get all of the alliance stuff out of my system following Big Brother. I know you guys were already setting this up. I was hoping that this was just gonna be a mirage, that you guys were just throwing the alliance stuff at me because Big Brother was on and some of its voodoo was coursing over to Amazing Race, and not the good voodoo, the Mountain Dew kind, but the terrible voodoo that casts spells. And no, it's still here.
No, so we saw Will and James do something pretty smart. It didn't end up actually coming into too much play, but they did see that they got there early. They saw that there was Wi-Fi, that there was a way to print off maps of the area, and they printed off enough for their alliance, which, like I said, it didn't come into play, really. No one was pulling out this map, meaning oh, thank goodness I got this map.
Yeah.
But it did sort of solidify that this was not just a one-time thing, that we were all working together. We want to continue working together, and that's what's happening. It was a good move. It was a really good move for them.
It was brilliant. This is the thing. I don't like the idea of an alliance because I want an unpredictable season, but at the same, this is so smart. And here's the question I have about this alliance,
They're
though.
playing a great game.
Why do you want to be an alliance if you're the people in this alliance? Why do you want to be in an alliance with these particular people? Because there's a lot of really good teams in here. If I want an alliance of people who are going to be around me, give me all the worst teams. That way I can get to the end with them and beat all of them. Bring me the army of fellow Amazing Race misfits. Give me I'll align with the team that gets lost all the time. Give me the team that fights with each other constantly.
Oh, God.
Don't put me in an alliance with the former football players and Will and James, who apparently studied for the race like it was the SATs or something.
I know. They really are great. And it's tough for me because I'm normally a big alliance. I don't want anything to do with you, but almost all my favorite teams are part of this big alliance. And I'm just and Will and James are playing such a good game, and they're making these really smart moves. I'm just and they're so likable. It's hard because all my favorite teams are in there.
There is a difficulty when it comes to trying to reconcile my feelings about alliance. This is kind of how I felt in Big Brother 20, where I was I like Tyler a lot. I really don't like this big level 6 thing. It's that is how it is, because I love Gary and DeAngelo despite the fact that they will probably never want to see a watermelon again after this episode.
DeAngelo's speech at the end of this when he got to the mat and he was just like, man, we ran a good race and I feel like we did an all right job and, sort of thanks for the opportunity to be here. I was just like, I wonder how long Phil's going to let him go on for.
If I was Phil, I would have just let him keep going and then let the awkward...
It was so cute.
Like, DeAngelo eventually would have been like, and I want to thank all the fellow teams and, this camera guy who was with me. He did a great job, and if you guys are doing an all-star season, I'd like to be on that as well.
I love DeAngelo. I thought that was really cute.
DeAngelo is great.
Yeah, he is.
It's a great segue, because early on in this leg, where we get to what I'm calling the trash orchestra,
Yep.
like, this was such a weird challenge, but DeAngelo gets there, and I have a lot of questions, because he's like, I'm an IKEA man. I set up a lot of IKEA stuff. DeAngelo, you played in the NFL. Why are you buying stuff at IKEA all the time? Like, you got some bank.
He knows how to set it up.
DeAngelo's apparently very good with his money. He's like, I'm buying all the IKEA stuff. I'm investing my NFL earnings for a long time.
Listen, I'm sure before he was rich and famous, he needed IKEA like we all do.
DeAngelo, you had so much going for you in this first challenge. You did really well at this. Which, I don't think in a lot of people's minds you would have thought, oh, here's the NFL player who is going to be very good at putting together the musical instrument out of garbage.
So, out of us, who was going to do this?
Despite the fact that I have given myself a nickname that no one likes in Lord Garbage, which, including people in the comments, have told me to stop saying this, but
he won't.
I would not be Lord of this garbage. I think we can guarantee that, because I'm not very good at, putting together knots or, tying anything involving, string or whatever else. I have been in an orchestra before, but I played the saxophone, so I don't think it really applies here.
I think that this would have been the thing that would have eliminated us, because while you feel that you can't do that, I also can't put things together. I think I mentioned this in another video. I remember when I was living on my own, I needed curtains in my window, and I didn't know how to even put up curtains, so I got a shower curtain. I stapled it to the ceiling. So this feels like this would not be my challenge either. I don't know how to fix anything or build anything unless it's got staples, nails, or tape, and that's where I am.
I will tell you, I had serious Ishwar vibes in this challenge, because he was talking about, I'm an engineer, that's gonna make me so this is like me, I was in an orchestra, that's gonna make me so qualified. Unfortunately, Ishwar, I don't think on a daily basis you're going into work and it's like, here's this musical instrument for you to engineer together here.
I'm just glad that him and Aparna had more screen time, because the two of them are someone that I had been really wanting to get to know a little bit better, and we hadn't been getting enough screen time. I was just like, unfortunately, we're getting this screen time because he's one of the last people there building this instrument.
It was a bummer, because I really put together in my head, if we had if we were on the Amazing Race and we were just wanting to be an alliance, not my suggestion of terrible team alliance, but rather an alliance of people we just really liked, I feel like we would be in an alliance with Ishwar and Aparna, and
I would totally.
They're just so likable.
I know.
And I like Leo and Alana too. I feel like I would just be like, hello, fellow glasses people. Do you want to be in an alliance?
I want to be in an alliance with Hung and G. They're so cute. Okay, so let's get into what happens after this.
Okay.
So we have bottle balancing versus watermelon stacking. It was interesting to see, once I saw the bottle stacking, I was like, oh wow, that looks like that's going to be very difficult, that if you just don't have balance like me, everywhere I go I fall, everything I touch I drop, I'd be really worried about it. But I mean, the watermelon thing seemed to be the thing that really slowed everyone down. Almost everyone that picked the bottle thing just went on through. It took way less time.
I am really conflicted here as to what we would choose in this situation, because it has been well documented. I do not have good balance skills.
We would have had to have taken the watermelon.
I have a weirdly shaped head, though. This is the thing. You see, this bulb magic here, Maybe the bottles could have like clung to my baldness, and I feel like it might have been feasible.
Okay, together our balance, we don't even make one person that could balance that together. I feel like we'd be doing watermelons and we would still be there.
Magic head. Hashtag magic head. We can do this.
I feel like this entire leg would have taken us out.
Well, this is the thing. Phil would have shown up and we still would have been at the trash heap and he would have gotten rid of us right there. We wouldn't have even gotten to the detour.
I legit think this would have killed us.
Yeah, it probably would have. And I was surprised by how this went, really, because stacking watermelons is a lot of work. Like, I have a lot of trouble putting, like, one watermelon in the car effectively without, like, running the risk of it, like, bursting in the trunk or something.
I'm pretty good at stacking. I feel like I could have been all right with that. It would have just been the endurance part of it and the physical part of it, because I don't exercise. I'm not really, like, able to do a lot of that stuff, but that bottle balancing I would have been terrible at.
Okay, this is the thing. I understand Will and James are super fans of the show and you do a lot of watching and you do a lot of research.
Yeah.
I would not have thought, even for a second, unless I was like a few drinks in or something, to be like, I'm gonna practice a random challenge from a past season of the show in hopes. I want to know, do they have like a reel somewhere of like 30 amazing race challenges? Are they like in the back of like somebody's backyard, like unrolling hay, looking for clues in them? Are they doing this with all of the tasks?
I don't know, but if they are, just give them the money.
Like, this is like some like really crazy happenstance. Like, good on them for doing that, for practicing it. I would have never thought of that.
No, they got kind of lucky with that. And they even said, we got kind of lucky. Like, oh, what are the chances? 100% it happened. So it was really good that they did that.
Yeah, they did that. They win again. This is their second leg in the row.
Yep.
It's a fun season because I think, the dominant team so far are Hung and Chi, who are not exactly physical powerhouses.
And not only that, but they did the bottle challenge and then went into the watermelon challenge and still managed to go forward. Like, they are great.
Yeah, and they're a force despite the fact you have two NFL players who have gotten very close to being eliminated twice now so far this season.
And Hung is small like I am. Like, she's teeny tiny. And seeing her up in the truck throwing those watermelons, I was like, good for you. I would not be able to do that. And I'm teeny tiny too.
The other team I'm kind of surprised about, and I honestly don't know if we talked about them so much this season, is Riley and Madison, because these are two dudes, really good shape.
Yep.
They got a good relationship. I kind of thought of going into this season, they were just going to like win every leg and sort of steamroll everyone, because it felt like those are like perfect, amazing race bros that were going to dominate this season.
Yep.
They've done well, but it's like, I think the reason we haven't talked that much about them is like, have you ever really felt like they were like running away with the season?
No, not yet. But I mean, we're only on episode 4 here.
It's true. It's true. Okay, this is my favorite moment of the entire leg. When Leo and Alana finished this challenge, did they smash bottles on each other's heads?
Yeah, that was the interesting thing. Every time somebody won that challenge, they were like throwing the bottles on the floor. A partner's like doing the champagne all over everybody, which I thought was really so cute. She's so cute. So it was awesome. Nobody actually just took the bottle off their head and put it back. I was like, what is happening?
That would have been me. Okay, here's the reality. I would have been so terrified that I would have I would have smashed the bottle on the ground. I would have tripped over the bottle, busted my head open. I would be like one of those football players who's like running to the goal line after thinking they got a touchdown and starting to dance early and then somebody tackling me before I got into the end zone.
There was a part of me that was wondering what these bottles are made of, because there was at one point, I can't remember who it was, had just gently touched their bottle on their head and it exploded on their head. And I was just like, what are these made of? Are these? And then they're breaking everywhere. They're breaking all over people. I saw one break in somebody's hand. I'm just like, they gotta be, maybe they're made with like sugar glass or something. Like, It just seemed so dangerous.
I was actually about to ask you that very question because you know some of this stuff better than me. And so, like, sugar would be sort of like a glass substitute, right?
Yeah, I'll sort of trick glass in movies and TVs made of, like, substances like sugar where, you see people and they punch their hand through a glass and, of course there's fake blood or whatever, but they're not actually cutting themselves. You can still cut yourself on the fake glass, but it's a lot less likely that you're going to. So and they're a lot more fragile. So I just was like wondering if, I saw that bottle break on somebody's head and nothing had happened. It didn't fall or anything. It just, I was like, oh, what's happening here with this?
Yeah, I
don't know.
For some weird reason.
Could just be very thin glass. But at that time, then it's like, so what, it's going to explode on your head and cut down your face? Like, it just felt like everyone was a little too, like, let's break these on each other. I was like, what's happening?
If these were made of sugar, which I don't know why I didn't think of this during the episode for some crazy reason, I thought they were actually glass.
They might be.
I think
that's
you're probably
just my
right.
tinfoil hat theory. They may very well be glass. They may all be cut up behind the scenes and we don't know. I don't know.
I would have done something really I would have, if I knew that it wasn't dangerous, I would have, like, hoisted it in the air and then, like, spiked it at the bottom of it and then, like, did a dance around it, and then you would have probably been like, hurry up, another team is passing us. And we would get eliminated because I'm celebrating too much.
Yes, you would do that because you love to do that.
This is the
you
thing
do
about...
that when we play Exploding Kittens as well.
This is the thing. You're on The Amazing Race. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make a fool out of yourself.
Well, listen, we already would know that we were being eliminated anyways.
If you're big, they were really being ridiculous. Like, why is this team in last place so happy that they finished this task after spending 3 hours doing it because they don't have any balance?
We would be like DeAngelo, except actually in last place, being like, we know we're in last. We're all good with that. Just send us home.
The moment you've run a bad leg when you have, like, the sky change effect.
The sun is going down, yeah.
And they're still there. It was really weird. They showed, like, a graphic at one point where it was like 3 hours in and it was sunny outside. And then then it was dark and it said it was the same period of time. It's like, did it turn night in like 5 seconds, Amazing Race?
I guess so.
It was, okay, we have not really talked about here Kaylin and Haley, who...
Yeah.
They had a rough leg, like, from the start.
I feel that instrument was tough. Like, I felt her pain. I was like, I would have been still there with you doing it.
The other thing about it is that they had that moment in this episode where their driver had seemingly, like, wandered them out to the middle of the nowhere, and she was, like, going into somebody's house.
Yeah, and like trying to get on the phone, trying to figure things out. I mean, they got a bad driver, but they still could have picked up time. Because that instrument thing was really hard.
I will say this. I'm really glad that this is a non-elimination leg. I like having more teams in the race, and I don't like it when
I like them. I'm glad they're still here.
Yeah, I don't want them to save all the non-eliminations to where we know that there's a non-elimination coming up. We want to be on the edge of our seat, right?
Yeah. No, I was really happy to see that because I was just like, oh no, they're so far behind. We're going to lose them already. Like, this is the thing about this season is that I really like all the teams that are there. There's nobody there that I'm like, oh man, if they go, I'm going to be, I'll be so mad sort of thing. Like, everyone's really, really great.
There is one person I hear, though, who would have done really, really well at that watermelon stacking competition.
Okay, we're not going there.
I'm not going to say their name. I'm just saying that they would probably eat all the watermelons and then they wouldn't have to be judged on them. That is all I'm saying.
Listen, this is a great season. This is a great cast. We're ignoring what's going on over here with Watermelon Eating Jackson.
Okay, I did not mention his name.
You didn't need to. They know. It's 19 minutes into this video. Nobody is watching anymore.
Let's just be glad he's not on the race. Okay, well...
I am glad he's not on the race. I like every single team that is here. That is going to make it very difficult for me going forward.
I know.
It's like Dancing with the Stars. I love everybody who's there. So every time it's like, oh, someone's getting eliminated. I'm like, no.
Guess what, though? We're going to France next time. I'm excited about that. It's also good news for DeAngelo and Gary and Kaylin and Haley, who will have a chance conceivably to catch up versus being 5 million hours behind everyone.
Yep, it seems though that they're going to have a little speed bump.
Yeah, we'll see what the speed bump is. I think one season it was just like, here, sit in this sauna for like 20 minutes or something.
And I hope that it will be something that they can get through pretty quickly, because I want them to have a chance. I mean, it sucks sometimes when you're in that type of situation. They had, the bad cab, which, really sucks, and it happens to everybody. But then you get just this one challenge that you just really get tripped up on. Like, it sucks. I'm glad they're here.
Hear from you guys. What did you think about this episode? Give us your favorite moment, your most ridiculous moment. Is it DeAngelo's farewell speech before Phil, mercifully cuts him off? Is it something else?
Is it that Will and James gave out those maps? Because that was brilliant.
Yeah, that is by far the most brilliant move of the episode.
So good.
Let us know in the comments. And yeah, if you like this video, subscribe for more updates. Give us a like. Support us further. Check those links to the store as well as our Patreon. And we'll see you here next time.